I actually found out about the event through my lecturers. So a few of them actually shared details like through posters, but one of the lecturers went the extra mile and organized a university trip. She literally chartered a bus to make sure our whole class had the opportunity to go. So at that time, I was right in the middle of my final semester, so the pressure was definitely on me to figure out my next steps. And what really attracted me to register was how well-rounded the event seemed. Now, I knew I wanted to get some industry experience first and hopefully secure a job before graduating. But I was also curious about postgraduate options. And walking into the fair, I realized it catered perfectly to both. It wasn't just a regular job fair, and it opened my eyes to the fact that I had options beyond the local postgraduate options. So as there are direct pathways for overseas postgraduate studies in Taiwan. So I feel like it was the perfect place to explore what was actually out there for me. Before joining, my understanding of the semiconductor industry was mostly academic. I was lucky enough to have a lecturer who mapped out the whole supply chain for us. He explained the differences between front-end IC design, fabrication, as well as assembly and testing. So I knew that Malaysia had historically been strong in the back-end, assembly and testing side, but there's a huge push by the government now to climb up the value chain into front-end R&D. So I knew I wanted to be on the design and R&D side, but I didn't fully realize what that meant until I joined My Storage, which is a company under the Phison Group. This experience has been very huge for my growth. So on the technical side, entering R&D meant that dealing with heavily abstracted code. If you don't understand the underlying architecture within the actual logic behind it, you simply couldn't work with because you don't understand it. So My Storage actually handles this really well because they give us a structured training academy. And as we progress, there's also architecture reviews. And we get more experience to bridge that gap. So because of that training, it makes navigating the abstracted code much easier. So without actually understanding the architecture, I could see that there's a function and it runs, it's doing something, but I don't know why is it doing that. So that's crucial, in my opinion. So those study session and reviews help me connect the dots. It makes a massive difference when it comes to debugging, because instead of guessing what's going on, I can trace the issues back to the root cause. If I need to make changes to fix a bug or add a feature, I can see how that modification impacts the overall architecture flow. It allows me to more confidently implement new features and validate them on various testing platforms to make sure they work perfectly. And what I really love about this environment is that the company really thrives by the idea that learning is a lifelong journey. Now we collaborate with our with the Taiwan headquarters whenever we need to align on the task. Now this taught me how to communicate highly technical ideas clearly across different teams and regions, as you have to know exactly what you're doing because we adhere to strict world-class internal standards and confidentiality protocols. Knowing that the code I write or bugs I fix directly affect chips going into millions of devices worldwide give me a massive sense of responsibility. Now, even if my contribution is just a small segment of the overall flow, seeing it run on global technology proves that I can deliver real value at an international standard. I don't have friends working in Taiwan branch, but I do have friends working in local Malaysian startup semiconductor type companies. And I think the biggest difference is the incredible engineering depth and safety net we get from having a major global parent company. So parent company is Phison. So when we run into highly complex technical problems, it is incredibly relieving to know that we aren't just isolated. So we have decades of foundational experience, expertise, and massive engineering brainpower of the Taiwan headquarters backing us up. So if we get stuck, we can get help from them. We can loop them in, and because they've seen these problems over the years, they've evolved, so they can guide us down to the correct path. They might not fix it for us, but they might show us, push us into the more correct path. Because we are trained to execute this entire life cycle to My Storage Phison's strict global standards, the skills that we build are much more transferable. So if you successfully deliver firmware under the system, your capabilities are instantly recognized internationally. Now, especially in Taiwanese tech market, it opens up career development opportunities on a global scale that you don't just get from purely working on a purely local environment. That's the difference that I see. My work and life in my storage Malaysia has been incredibly fulfilling, and the work-life balance is generally good. The semiconductor industry is naturally fast-paced and dynamic, which keeps me sharp. But I can generally log off at the end of the day and protect my personal time. Well, of course, there are occasional times where project demands extra hours, but it's completely manageable because the environment is highly collaborative. And as for career development, it has absolutely met my expectations, especially regarding my personal growth. When I first started, I didn't realize how much R&D requires me to multitask. I was juggling between feature implementation, writing scripts, and debugging. But over the past few months, my time management and prioritization has improved tremendously. So I've learned how to map out my day, choose exactly where to spend my time and energy to deliver before deadline, to finish up the task, prioritizing properly. So the culture here also fosters a great sense of professional responsibility. When I get stuck on a complex bug, which eventually happens from everyone, I can't just throw my hands and expect someone else to fix it. So the expectation here is that I do my homework first. Like I've learned to approach my teammates by showing them exactly what I've tried, what I've got, where I think the logic is breaking down. And my team is incredibly supportive when it comes to troubleshooting, but because they challenge me to bring my own analysis to the table first, it actively trains me to think like an independent, reliable engineer. So that's really, really helpful. Like join a career fair. So if a friend asks me if they should attend or they want to join, so I tell them like it is an absolute must because it's a 2-for-1 opportunity. You aren't just getting access to industrial heavyweights, you're also getting access to academic giants as well. So on the industry side, there are incredible Taiwanese companies hiring for a huge variety of roles. But I mean, for me, what I think the biggest real value is the face-to-face interaction you get. So the fair also acts as a live screening phase where you can sit down and have a genuine human conversation. So you aren't just dropping a resume into an online portal, as you can ask the interviewers direct questions about their day-to-day experiences and truly get to know the company culture. So instead of sending emails to admission officers and waiting weeks for a reply, you can walk straight up to the representative who flew all the way from Taiwan, and you can get your questions and answered on the spot and figure out how the program works. So whether your next step is a career with an industry giant or a funded postgraduate program, well, the fair gives you a direct in-person access that you simply can't replicate online. So if I were to give advice to a person that's hesitating to go, so my number one piece of advice is just go. You might walk out of there with a lot more clarity for your future.